KEEL. Miss Erin is back. Ta-da! Local news up next.
Shreveport Council considering a major change for Cyport. We'll tell you more about that. Tariffs and the impact in Louisiana could get hard hit. And you can now get a digital copy of your driver's license.
I promise you, I heard somebody this weekend call them tariffs.
Oh, really?
Well, it is Louisiana.
I hate those tariffs. They're not terrific.
We need to talk about the MPC, sort of. Is it in its final days?
Yeah.
And what happens to all those guys on the MPC? Where do they go? What are they going to do? Who are they going to attempt to influence? Fletcher Sports, Traffic, and Weather. It's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
Pardon the advertising interruption. Prescriptions in the last few.
Power of information. KEEL News now.
The Shreveport Council considering a major change for the Cyport Discovery Center management. The panel set to vote on a new cooperative endeavor agreement with Red River STEM. We asked Christy Gustafson of the Community Foundation if the Cyport mission will change in terms of targeting younger children.
The Cyport facility would be honoring the original mission of Cyport as a science facility for children. Now, whether or not they're going to try to target older demographics or expand things in some ways, I don't know. I couldn't say for sure because it's not up to me. It's up to the new director and the new board of directors.
If approved, the new group would take control over Cyport on August 1st. Shreveport Council could also take a vote this week on a measure to create a new planning department inside city government. This agency would replace the MPC. Now, this item has been discussed for several months, and it's not certain if Mark Sweeney's decision to resign as director of the MPC will have any impact on this measure. Billions in Chinese tariffs now in effect, and Louisiana industries are bracing for what could be a rocky ride. A recent Forbes report showed Louisiana as the most at-risk state for negative effects from the tariffs. New Orleans Port VP Robert Landry says the Chinese tariffs on steel will have ripple effects throughout all economies that rely on Mississippi River shipping.
When you take steel out of the equation, it not only increases the cost of anything that's made with steel, it increases the cost of exporting U.S. agricultural products, which means it makes it less competitive on the world marketplace.
Louisiana's Economic Development Secretary Don Pearson also expresses concern about the tariffs' impact on our state's economy. City of Bossier lifts a boil advisory for those living off of Shed Road. Several areas near Deborah, James, and Christie Streets were under that advisory while the city made repairs to the water main. City gets a huge federal grant. Matt Parker with that.
Mayor Ollie Tyler has announced that the city of Shreveport will receive $24 million in federal grant money. The money will go towards redeveloping Allendale, Ledbetter Heights, and the West Edge. A major portion of the cash will be used to create affordable housing and to provide supportive services in those neighborhoods. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Thai authorities have resumed operations to rescue members of a boys' soccer team trapped in a cave after successfully getting 4 of the boys out yesterday. Those 4 boys are hungry but in good health. You can now get a digital copy of your driver's license. With the LA Wallet app, you can access the information. Invoke CEO Calvin Fabre says the app has many other perks.
The benefit to the citizen is it does a daily validity check on their license. So you will know immediately if your license is suspended or revoked or expires.
The app is a usable substitute for any state-based license checks like traffic stops, and in the near future could be valid for ID checks even in bars, other states, and at the airport. Qualifying for the governor's race 13 months away. So will we see Republicans who plan to challenge Governor John Bel Edwards announcing their candidacy soon? Political analyst Clancy DeBose says while names from the Republican Party have been thrown around, there's no absolute answer as to when to officially announce a candidacy.
There is no hard, fast rule as to when someone has to declare other than qualifying. But typically people announce that they are running or not running sometime before that.
U.S. Senator John Kennedy has been prominently mentioned as a Republican frontrunner. A Lithuanian couple wins the annual wife-carrying championship. A hubby carried his wife over a grueling course in the event in Finland that attracts contestants from more than 50 countries. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 8 o'clock, time for KEEL traffic. Here's Ruben.
Just received reports of a fire on West 70th Street near Pines Road, and we're still dealing with some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Intervals of clouds and sunshine today. A shower or thunderstorm from late morning into the evening. High 88. Patchy clouds, low 72 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
We're alive. We're alive. We're here.
They know we did the tease at the top of the hour.
I know.
And news.
We've been talking for like 7 or 8 minutes. I mean, I've
No.
already introed the weather.
I did the news. I know.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 12 past 8 o'clock. Shreveport Security System text line 318-392-1884. Okay, in the last segment, the big segment before we had the little transmitter mishap there a couple of seconds ago.
It was not transmitter. It was a power issue.
Huh?
It was a SWEPCO issue.
Did the transmitter go off?
We lost power.
Did
In
the
the
transmitter-
building.
Okay.
To the building.
So the transmitter didn't go off?
No, transmitter was still humming.
But everything's perfect right now. We're back to normal, operating at 100% tip-top because of our friends at SWEPCO.
Power-wise, we are.
Okay. Well, or our generator.
All right.
Yeah, we could be on backup generator.
So in the last big, long segment of the 7 o'clock hour, we talked a little bit about having Jay Darden on last week and John Schroeder, state treasurer, on talking about all this bond issue stuff and how that all worked and how the state's credit, the financial outlook was upgraded by Moody's. Here is the question. Matt, get ready. How many, off the top of your head, what is the one topic that we discuss from time to time that gets you that makes your, as you said, I think my head's going to explode? Can you think of one? Because there's a couple. One does not, for me, at least in reference to you, come to mind.
Not really.
But there are things that just it's like
trigger me.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
trigger, to use the millennial lexicon.
There are some triggers, yeah.
This whole bond thing, this whole Moody's upgrade thing, there's just something about it. I'm not sure what it is, but every time we start talking about it, I just don't want to let it go. Because it's like bass backwards.
Yeah.
Here is the question that I jotted down for both Commissioner Darden and for Treasurer Schroeder, who, bless their collective hearts, were doing their best, albeit from different political vantage points, to explain to me how all this state bond stuff works. You ready? Here's the question I asked them both. So, now we have the 4.45% sales tax for 7 years. And you guys say, Moody's said, the steady stream of money to the state is the biggest reason that you, i.e. Moody's, gave us the upgrade. But what difference does it make how much money the state takes in if we spend it all? And if that's the case, then what was this whole fiscal cliff special session 6 or 8 or 10 or 12-month or 2-year argument about? And I'll bridge the discussion in this way.
Okay.
Last year, Louisiana issued $300 million, give or take, in general obligation bonds. So for in other words, the $10 billion general operating budget, give or take a couple of cents, that just covers operating. It doesn't cover to fix anything. It doesn't cover to build anything.
It doesn't cover the capital outlay project budget.
No. So when Dr. Sean Wilson comes on our station and says, I need $600 million just to maintain the roads the way they are, and they're fighting for the increased budget, then the state turns around and issues $130 million more in general obligation bonds to pay for new roads. Do you have the list in front of you?
Oh, the non-governmental organizations list?
Well, just some of virtually every department in state government issues general obligation bonds to cover expenses. So let's say theoretically you make X amount of money, and it doesn't cover not what you have but what you want. So it's
so my salary doesn't cover everything I want.
Doesn't cover everything you want. So when you run out of salary money, you go out and borrow some more.
I just go to the bank and go, I need another 10 grand this year because I want to spend some more money.
Because I want to build new roads.
I want new landscaping at my house.
Whatever it happens to be for the state. $300 on top of the $10 billion operating budget.
So what do you pay that back with?
The taxpayers' money.
If you keep spending every penny that's coming
the
in.
Taxpayers' money.
How do you pay back the bonds?
Well, that's part of the budget.
Is the debt retirement. Okay, you have so much money in your debt retirement. Okay.
How much you're paying your credit card.
Okay, that's in your budget.
So in addition to the $10 billion general operating fund, operating budget, the biggest we've ever had, We issue bonds. We borrow money.
That's like bonds are like credit cards for government.
Give or take.
Is that pretty much it?
Yeah, pretty much sums it up.
Is the interest rate pretty decent?
Well, see, that's where Moody's might help us.
Okay.
Is that we'll be able to issue bonds at a lesser interest rate. So we'll pay back less than we would have if we were an unstable.
Can I ask you a stupid question?
Believe me, it's only stupid to people in government who say you don't get it.
Wait a minute. Let me just be. Hang on, it's a really good question.
Let me say this before you go crazy, because you're starting to go crazy like me.
I'm finna.
What's happened? The only thing that pops into my head, see, I'm starting to blow up.
Yeah.
If we borrow money to pay for stuff that we want, that's not in the budget, then why did we fight for 2.5 years about a budget? If we're going to turn around and borrow money to pay for the stuff we want.
I know. But here's the other part of that equation. I know.
I'm sorry.
Let's say
Can you hold your thought? We got to go to break.
Yeah, but it's massively a good question.
Of course it is, because this doesn't make sense to you either.
And I'm going to explode, I think.
Aha. Welcome to Bobland. 19 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. It's Lamaze. No, it's your host. Here's Ruben.
Just received reports of a fire on West 70th Street near Pines Road, and we're still dealing with some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Intervals of clouds and sunshine today. A shower or thunderstorm from late morning into the evening. High 88. Patchy clouds, low 72 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Oh, just wait till we get back. Oh, 21 past 8 o'clock, Keel Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Former LSU standouts Erin Nola and Alex Bregman were named Sunday night to the 2018 Major League Baseball All-Star Game rosters. Nola, the ace of the Phillies staff, is 11-2 this season with an ERA of 2.41 and 116 strikeouts in 116 innings. He'll be a part of the National League's pitching staff. Bregman was named a reserve on the American League squad as a third baseman. He's hitting .284 this year with 17 homers, 29 doubles, and 57 RBI. The All-Star Game takes place in Washington, D.C. on July 17th. Bregman's Astros completed a 4-game sweep of the White Sox Sunday, trimming Chicago 2-1. Former Razorback Dallas Keuchel won his third straight decision with 7 strong innings, and Jose Altuve, the leading vote-getter in All-Star Game balloting, homered to help Houston reach 30 games over 500. Shin-Soo Choo set a Rangers record by reaching base in his 47th straight game. It took a ninth-inning infield single, but the record is his, pushing Julio Franco's mark of 46 games in 1993 to second place in the Texas record book. The extra bonus for Choo, the Rangers won 3-zip. And 34-year-old Travis Pastrana did what his idol, Evel Knievel, couldn't. In Las Vegas Sunday night, the stunt showman cleared 52 crushed cars, flew over 16 Greyhound buses, and jumped the fountains at Caesar's Palace on his Indian Scout FTR 750 motorcycle. Knievel, who passed away in 2007 at the age of 69, came up short in his attempt to clear the fountains in 1967. In 73, he cleared 50 crushed cars, and in 1975, he jumped over 14 Greyhound buses. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
So you crazy yet about all this state bond stuff?
I'm getting a little bit, yeah.
In 2017, the state of Louisiana issued general obligation bonds in the amount of $303 million. Let me just break some of this down. So this is on top of the general budget that everybody said was so important.
Now, you got to make it real clear. All these bond issues that they do, they have to start with legislation. I mean, if like Bob's Big Boy Burger nonprofit wants funding from the state, you have to convince a lawmaker to take your bill, get it passed, and then they'll sell bonds.
Pardon me,
for Bob's nonprofit.
Let's not get into the NGO, non-governmental offering thing yet. This is this goes above and beyond the state budget. Okay? Now, the general operating fund is what? About $10 billion for this year. That's the one they just settled on, right? Okay. So, in 2017, and I think it was Treasurer Schroeder said that for 2018 it'll be about the same. In 2017, the state of Louisiana issued $303 million in general obligation bonds. Education, $68 million. So on top of whatever the education budget is, they floated $68 million. The state floated $68 million more in bonds. Environment, $9.9 million. Health and hospitals, $16.4 million. So whatever the budget goes to health and hospitals in Louisiana, we issued bonds for another $16.4 million. Public safety, $5.8. Transportation, $106.7 million. So whatever operating budget the DOTD gets, the state floated another $106 million to pay for more stuff. Utilities, $14.3. Economic development, $14.7. General government, $66.5 million. So whatever goes to the general government, whatever that happens to be, general government needs another $66.5 million to function. Quality of life. And I asked Mr. Darden and I asked Mr. Schroeder about quality of life general obligation bonds, $37.7 million. Now, NGOs, non-governmental offerings, have I got that right? Organizations, sorry. Explain to what?
I need to get to my point. You're running up the time.
Well, you need to know what all these things.
Because mine's huge.
We need to cover for you.
I know. We'll get to it.
Go ahead.
Well, it's just a list of stuff that if we're in a budget crisis, why are we throwing millions of dollars around? And
whatever the interest on these bonds happens to be to pay for some of the following.
Like we have McKinley High School Alumni Association. They're getting a couple of $100,000. The Strand. And you can click on these and see what the breakdown is. And a lot of this cash is going to people's salaries, not like major repairs and stuff, which is, I think, the biggest, most frustrating part.
You're going to borrow money to pay salaries.
Yeah.
That seems ridiculous.
Borrow money to look.
And not for government agencies, for, whatever company.
Nonprofit groups, yeah.
If you're in Shreveport, you can certainly make the case that renovating and operating the Strand is a great idea. But by the same token, that TV station that we built in New Orleans that you're paying for, just like the people in New Orleans are helping to pay for the Strand, you're paying for a TV station in New Orleans. Just like the people in Baton Rouge are paying for the Strand, you're giving a couple $100,000 to the McKinley High School in Baton Rouge Alumni Association. $303 million in general obligation bonds.
Listen to this one, that $3.5 million for Tangipahoa Parish. Where's the governor from? For a new multi-purpose gymnasium facility. $3.5 million.
And it's just as important to them.
Where's the governor from?
And it's just as important to them as the Strand is to us. Just understand how it works.
Okay.
Listen, we'd like to have the bonds to rebuild the Strand, to renovate the Strand. Well, you know what? I need a new TV station in New Orleans. You got a deal. Okay.
Here's my point.
Knock yourself out.
I want you, little Bobby, to take your suitcase full of money. Okay? And you're going to invest this money. You're going to go, because you want it to grow, because you're getting near retirement, and you want it to be put in a good place. Who is going to go to their financial advisor and say, I want to put all my money on Louisiana. Give me Louisiana black. Give me Louisiana Red,
but
whatever.
Some people do.
Who buys Louisiana bonds?
Who invest in Elio? I mean,
actually,
and why?
Because it's a guaranteed thing. Because it's a sure thing.
Yeah.
There's no risk. And a lot of big
well, did they tell you that about Detroit too? It was no risk.
I'm just telling you the way they sell it. I mean, look, these are guaranteed. They're guaranteed.
I know you're going to get paid.
It's a no risk, just like a savings
but
bond.
But it's
when
low
you're a
interest,
kid.
correct?
That's what you get when there's no risk.
But if you're going to go look at, what states I want to invest in, can't you get more money at wealthier states? Can't you get a better return on guaranteed money in a state that does better than we do?
I'm just saying, when Moody's upgraded our financial outlook, it means that Louisiana will be able to sell these bonds to investors, the big fund companies that buy stuff like this at a lower payback investment rate. So things are looking up because we have more money because of the 7-year tax that we'll be spending.
Okay. I'm telling you. Man.
Welcome.
Can't wait for that gym to be built, though, in Tangipahoa Parish.
Remember, it makes just as much sense to them as the TV station in New Orleans or the Strand Theater here or the Alumni Association for the high school in Baton Rouge.
Oh, boy.
29 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
Just received reports of a fire on West 70th Street near Pines Road, and we're still dealing with some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun today. There'll be a shower or thunderstorm from late morning into the evening. High 88. Partly cloudy. Low 72 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The Shreveport Council considering a major change for the Cyport Discovery Center management. The panel set to vote on a new cooperative endeavor agreement with Red River STEM, Inc. We talked with Christy Gustafson of the Community Foundation and asked about the future of Cyport and what about those who have memberships.
Everybody involved has said from day one, if there are memberships, then they're going to be honored. And then if there's a period of time that the facility isn't open, they would get, that wouldn't count against their, if they have a year membership, they're going to get a full year benefit out of the membership.
This new agreement, if approved, would begin on August 1st. Shreveport Council could also take a vote this week on a measure to create a new planning department inside city government. This agency would replace the MPC. Now, this item has been discussed for several months, and it's not certain if Mark Sweeney's decision to resign as director of the MPC will have any impact on this measure. Boil advisory lifted in Bossier. Matt Parker with that.
The city of Bossier has lifted a boil advisory for those living off of Shed Road. Several areas near Deborah, James, and Christie Streets were under the advisory while the city made repairs to the water main. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Qualifying for next year's governor's race is 13 months away. So will we see Republicans who plan to challenge Democratic Governor John Bel Edwards announcing their candidacy soon? Political analyst Clancy DeBose doesn't foresee any announcements until possibly next year.
In the case of someone like Senator Kennedy, who already has a very high profile, he could afford to wait until relatively late in the game.
Incumbent Governor Edwards is reported to have more than $5 million in his campaign war chest. Billions of dollars in Chinese tariffs went into effect Friday, and Louisiana industries are bracing for what could be a rocky ride. Louisiana Economic Development Secretary Don Pearson expressing concern about the tariffs' impact on the state's economy. He highlighted the damage that could be inflicted on Louisiana's ag industry that ships massive quantities of goods overseas.
With more than $8.3 billion in agricultural production, a lot of that in soybeans, our farming and agricultural economy is going to be hit hard.
President Trump says he'll nominate someone for the Supreme Court today. Trump on Sunday insisted he'd lock down his pick to replace retiring Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy, but says he has final 4 options. Coke found in the Gulf. Authorities in Florida trying to find out who's responsible for a floating bale of cocaine that was recovered in the Gulf of Mexico, just off the coast of Pensacola. More than 75 pounds of coke was found in the package. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert and Erin. Look, the bonds that we issue, $300 million every year, the state of Louisiana, pays for a lot of really, really important things. You mentioned the fire station, the Caddo Parish Fire District thing.
Yeah, school in Doyline, lots of stuff's on the list.
There's a lot of stuff on the list. It's just a lot of stuff. And it's $300 million in issue general obligation bonds.
It's credit card debt.
And basically it's well, wait, and then you start to wonder, well, wait a second, what's that $10 billion for? What's that 10? Oh, that's just running stuff.
Yeah.
Well, wait a second. That's just for people's like light bills and stamps and cars, gas cards, health insurance, salaries. Wow. I mean, it and then you start to understand how complex and how it just holy cow.
I don't get it. I really don't.
Because it's not their money. It's yours.
Yeah. And they spend my money so wisely.
Well, I sometimes they do, but a lot of times they don't.
I'm really frustrated. I got to figure out too. You mentioned it a minute ago, the MPC thing that the city's doing.
Yeah.
Are they going to move forward with that?
Or what?
Can we talk about that when we come back?
You mean the MPC?
Yeah, a separate agency. Because didn't Mark Sweeney say he's leaving last week or something like that?
Yes.
Right.
So
he's
does
going
that change anything down
to
at City
Colorado?
Hall?
Opportunity of a lifetime.
Okay.
We'll go to break. We can discuss this, and you have details when we get back. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all very nebulous right now.
I'm wondering if it changes anything.
You mean as far as the dissolution of the MPC?
Yeah.
Which a lot of people want, even some within the MPC.
Yeah. I'm curious if it's going to change anything.
And if it becomes just, if Shreveport gets its own MPC, who's going to do the MPCing Well, I said MCPing.
For the parish.
For the parish.
They'll have to get their own.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. It's 8:39. Ruben and traffic update.
Just received reports of a fire on West 70th Street near Pines Road, and we're still dealing with some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Intervals of clouds and sunshine today. A shower or thunderstorm from late morning into the evening. High 88. Patchy clouds, low 72 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Mark Sweeney's going to Oklahoma, not Colorado.
Oklahoma, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why I had... Oklahoma borders on Colorado, just not very much. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Okay, so you had the news story about the MPC, and there are those who for some time have been crying, calling for the dissolution of said governmental body. Now, the MPC as it exists now, the Metropolitan Planning Commission, is how many members? It's 271?
No, 7? I may be wrong. I think there's 7. I may be wrong. Don't quote me on that,
And
please.
basically, they sort of, they oversee, well, explain to everybody what the MPC does.
Okay, the MPC manages planning and, permitting for new construction, subdivisions, business stuff and all that for not only everything in the city, but also in the parish. They have appointees from the mayor's office and from the city and from the parish administrator and from, parish government. So it's a combination type organization that runs both. It's been under fire. It all started when they adopted the new Unified Development Code. Now they had hearing after public hearing on this and then implemented this UDC. And folks have not been happy. There have been a lot of folks who say it's too many hoops to jump through. It's a problem. They've had a lot of meeting with builders and developers who say this is just a mess.
Now, there has been some criticism also of MPC member Theron Jackson, who is the chairman. He's chairman of the MPC, and Curtis Joseph, who are also employed by Gateway Development Consortium, who are the sort of running the interference for the new Cross Bayou project,
yes.
the $10-year billion.
There have been a lot of concerns about can they really sit on the MPC and still judge all these developments that are coming before them while they may have a stake in a massive development
down the line.
So there's been a lot of concern about that. But there was a big issue about Mark Sweeney's contract, an auto renew on that. They did away with the contract for now. Well, he's leaving. He's going to Oklahoma.
Going to not Colorado.
Right, and you still have a measure on the Shreveport City Council agenda today and tomorrow, today's a work session, that would create what's called a new planning department, planning and zoning, inside city government.
So this basically would be a Shreveport version of the MPC, and there have been, in fact, calls for some time, maybe a little less than a year, that maybe Shreveport should sort of just pull out of the MPC as it exists now and form their own city planning commission.
Yeah.
And this is that?
This is that. And now it's been on the agenda for a little while. And I'm curious to know whether or not this is going to change the effort. Mark Sweeney's resignation is going to change those efforts because there's been a little bit of a dispute because I think the city of Shreveport funds the MPC to the tune of $1 million, and I think the parish spends about $200,000, if I'm correct. And there are people that are concerned about, are we getting the $1 million bang for our buck? Could we do it cheaper in-house? Why can't we do this in-house? And, they would also make some provisions to handle parish government items if they want to do the same thing. So, I don't know. Here's what I would hate to see. I would hate to see both the parish commission and the city council go set up their own planning divisions so that you have receptionists, you have,
in other words,
planners,
two bureaucracies instead of
two
one.
bureaucracies where now we have one.
And yet, there are those within the city who feel that the members of the MPC, who are not the Shreveport City guys, who are the Caddo Commission, don't represent, and they find themselves at odds and sometimes preventing people in the city, the MPC city guys, from doing what they want to do.
Yeah, so it's on the agenda for today. I'm going to be reaching out to some of the city council members today. I actually have to be at City Hall later today, so I'm going to be talking to some of those folks and see, what's going to be happening with this. Is this going to die on the vine with Mark Sweeney gone? Is everybody happy, or do we still have issues? It's an interesting question. We shall see what will happen. Don't know.
And how will this move by the city council for Shreveport to form its own planning commission, how does that affect a delay the replacement of Sweeney as the MPC director?
Yeah, and there are others who will tell you, too, that the MPC was created by state law, and you'd have to repeal the law. You'd have to go through a little bit of a hoops to do away with it. I don't know all the ins and outs of all that. It's kind of confusing. So, we're going to watch it and see what happens with it.
Because it would occur to me, and this is something, a million things come across their colloquial desks all the time. But the next big decision to be made by the MPC will, in fact, be, a lot of things that have to do with the Cross Bayou project.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's going to be a massive project. If that ever gets to where it's, there's paperwork involved, that people are going to have to sign.
How many fingers am I holding up?
4.
Only need 4 votes.
You're right. You're right, but you need a lot of cash.
And nothing will happen. And look, and we've been told this off the record repeatedly. Most likely nothing will happen with Cross Bayou till after the elections in the fall.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about that. I'm excited, too, because we're like a week or so away from qualifying for the mayor's race. Hadn't decided what I'm running for yet, but I'm still thinking.
Do you really think anybody else is going to get in?
I don't know. I'm interested to watch. I think we're going to have a surprise.
And her name's Erin McCarty.
No, it's not.
I would be stunned, literally stunned, if anybody else that would be termed a viable candidate gets in at this point.
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
We'll go to break. You think of a name. We'll go to break.
Okay.
You think of a name.
It could be somebody that Greg Tarver wants in the race.
How many more Democrat candidates do we need?
He doesn't have a pony right now.
How many more Republicans?
Trust me, Greg Tarver will have a pony.
How many more Republicans do we need? 848, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL, Your Money Now. Traffic and weather updates all on the way on KEEL.
Just received reports of a fire on West 70th Street near Pines Road, and we're still dealing with some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun today. There'll be a shower or thunderstorm from late morning into the evening. High 88. Partly cloudy. Low 72 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The KEEL app is brought to you by Office Furniture Source. Download the app today. KEEL.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
There are now more Americans working than at any time in our nation's history. 155 million of us are now employed, making this the 10th record set during President Trump's time in office.
Unsurprisingly, the Democrats saw nothing positive in the new June jobs report. But when you're carrying a hammer, everything looks like a nail. In fact, all they continue to do is hammer Donald Trump. In fact, they call this good news regarding jobs the result of Donald Trump's reckless policies that are hurting millions of hardworking families.
Democrats need to be careful, especially with their turn towards socialism. That hammer they're carrying start looking like it's going with a sickle as well.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
Okay, so the 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL 8:54. The 4 teams left in the World Cup soccer football championships.
Competitive jogging.
It's England
Yeah.
and Croatia and Belgium and France.
Right.
Now, of those 4 countries, which of those, if they won, would do the most to destroy their own nations?
What do you mean destroy
In
their
other
own
words, who's
nations?
going to set fire to stuff?
Oh, Croatia.
You think?
They're the huge
Oh,
underdog.
no, I think England.
Nah, England maybe.
England's
maybe.
burning stuff right now. They're
Yeah.
only in the semifinals.
You got tomorrow is Belgium and France.
Yeah.
Belgium's going to be pretty wild too. I'm picking Belgium in all this, and then
You think-
Wednesday is the Croats and the Brits.
Pardon me. So you're not for damage heaped upon their civilizations, but just like who's going to win the game, you think Belgium is probably the favorite of the 4?
Yeah, that's not what the world thinks. The world thinks England is going to win it now, but I think Belgium's going to win it. I've watched every game they've played. They've been strong. They beat Brazil pretty handily. I think it's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be good.
I haven't watched a single game, but I'm going with you just because the Belgians make great waffles.
I'm most fascinated by the fact you said the Belgiums as opposed to the Belgians.
Yeah, the Belgiums.
The
We love Belgium.
Well, they're
Oh,
the
yeah.
Belgian waffles.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, go to IHOP and watch the game,
We're
okay?
going to break early on that upbeat note. 8:55, 101.7 FM, 56, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9. Here comes Commando.
If a deal seems too good to be true, especially on Facebook, it's probably a bad deal. Kim Commando with your Monday Consumer Tech Update, brought to you by SimpliSafe, home security done right. Stroll down a sidewalk in New York or any huge city, and you're going to run across street peddlers selling inexpensive, fake, illegal designer knockoffs. The allure, of course, cheap prices. Illegal because you just can't sell fake Rolex watches, Gucci tracksuits, and Adidas running shoes, and pay nothing to Gucci, Adidas, and Rolex. It's stealing. The U.S. Secret Service seizes billions of fake merchandise every day. Still, the stuff gets through. A growing path to consumers turns out to be Facebook, with sellers using an eBay-type feature. Not only is it against the law, it's against Facebook's own policies. Facebook is silent on this. Just remember, if you buy the fake items, you are participating in the theft. And thanks to the British press for exposing this ripoff. I'm Kim Commando. When you're hiring, you don't want to waste time sorting through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. You need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed.com for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
You're never going to get as much sleep as you want. That's why you need to make every hour of sleep you do get really count. Hi, I'm Scott Tannen, founder of Boll & Branch. Our sheets are handcrafted from pure, fair trade, 100% organic cotton. Hundreds of thousands of Americans, including 3 U.S. presidents, sleep better than ever on Boll & Branch sheets. If you order today, we'll give you $50 off your first set of sheets with promo code KIM, spelled B-O-L-L and branch.com. Promo code KIM.
ShreveportHelpWanted.com presents The World's Worst Boss, the one who posts jobs on huge national job sites, looking for anyone with a pulse. We'll just call him Dave.
Hello, people that work for me. As a means to monitor productivity, and I'll be honest, my own curiosity, I've been monitoring your internet usage for the past 2 months. And rather than meet with each one of you, I think it'll be faster and more humiliating to just do it all at once. Jennifer, I'm sorry to hear about that rash. Judging by the amount of time you spend researching for remedies, it must be painful. Mary, your wife looked wonderful in her swimsuit on your vacation to Hawaii. Aloha. Marie, I see you've been sending emails complaining that I'm obnoxious and not fit to be a boss. Well, have fun complaining about me to the people at your next job.
Don't work for a Dave. Find a boss you can respect. One who's looking for great and local talent at ShreveportHelpWanted.com. Local jobs that work.
We don't discriminate against people named Dave. Dave is a common name, fun to say, and so we're using it as a catch-all for lackluster bosses everywhere. They post jobs on the big national job boards because they really don't care. Please do not write us to tell us you're a Dave who was insulted by this ad. That would be a real Dave move, Dave.
You're going to do an intro, you're just going to sit there and flap your jaw. 8:59, one more traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Just received reports of a fire on West 70th Street near Pines Road. And we're still dealing with some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun today. There'll be a shower or thunderstorm from late morning into the evening. High 88. Partly cloudy. Low 72 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.